I strongly believe that one of the most important teachers I ever had was my tafsir teacher in high school, Mr. Endro. He was very patient and taught the class in a calm, clear way, which really helped me understand difficult materials. I remember when I was in boarding school, studying tafsir was quite challenging because we used the Kitab Kuning, which was written completely in Arabic without any vowel marks. But Mr. Endro always explained everything slowly and made sure everyone could follow before moving on. Moreover, he often encouraged open discussion and storytelling sessions during class that made the lessons much more interesting and meaningful. For example, sometimes he shared stories behind certain Quranic verses which help us connect the meaning with real-life situation. His way of teaching made me realize that understanding the Quran is not just about translation, but also about reflection. So to sum up, Mr. Indra was important to me because he made a difficult subject easier to understand and inspired me to appreciate the beauty of Tafsir Quran. That's why he's one of the teachers I will never forget. The female student disagrees with the university's new policy of cutting the transportation budget and ending all bus service. She thinks the policy is a bad idea and will cause serious inconvenience for students. Reason she gives first is lack of access. There is no public transportation to the DeWolf Science Center, which means students will have to walk about 20 minutes to get there. Second is safety concerns. The walk passes through some of the worst neighborhoods in the city, making it unsafe for students. So she believes the policy will make it difficult and dangerous for students to travel to certain parts of campus. Pictographs change into modern writing through a long process of simplification. In the beginning, pictographs were detailed drawings that show real things like animal or people. But as time went on, people start to make the symbols simpler and easier to write, so they slowly turned into abstract shape. For example, in the lecture, the professor talks about the letter A. It actually came from an ancient Egyptian picture of a bull's head. Over generation, people removed the details like the eyes and ears, and eventually it just looked like a triangle with two lines that used to be orange. That's how it becomes the letter A we use today. So basically, our modern alphabet comes from ancient pictures that were simplified again and again until they represented sounds instead of full image. The professors talk about something called the paradox of technology, which means that new technology that's supposed to make our lives easier can actually make things more complicated. For example, he mentioned remote controls. At first, having a remote was convenient because people didn't have to get up to change the TV channel or adjust the volume. But since every device like a TV, stereo, or DVD player has its own remote, people end up with several of them. To solve that, universal remotes were invented, but they're hard to program and use, so they actually create more problems. The professor also gives the example of mobile phones. They're designed to make communication easier, but people often dial wrong numbers because the buttons are too small. So overall, the paradox of technology shows that sometimes innovation meant to simplify life end up making it more difficult instead.